What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde with this week's Notre Dame football show on YouTube and Pod Like a Champion, wherever you listen to your podcast. Really appreciate you watching, listening, whatever or however you are digesting this content today. Tim Hyde, how are you, my friend?
Doing really good, Mike. Excited to chat with some bodies tonight, some peeps tonight about a little Notre Dame football. But tomorrow, I think, is the halfway point of spring football. Got the game coming up here in a few weeks. And then for me, as I've said, it's all about counting down to Ohio State. So we're one day closer.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Tim. By the time we finish this show tonight, I will have 6 in-laws staying in my 3-2 starter home. So really looking forward to that. Good thing they're not here for very long. You know what? I hope they're not watching this.
Oh, hold on, Mike. Are you making chili? Because I know you're a big chili guy. So
they're out at dinner right now. My in-laws just got into town, and then they do leave tomorrow. So I hope that they're not watching, because sometimes my in-laws watch the show. They have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. They're not Notre Dame, actually Wisconsin people. And we're going to talk about a Wisconsin guy later in the show. Yeah, Joe Bro, what's good? Adam B says, hey, Mike, thanks for 707 reporting. Hello to Tim. Yeah, we're going to dive into the CJ Carr stuff in just a little bit. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, folks. Subscribe to our channel. You know, all of that good stuff. Head to blueandgold.com. Sign up for that deal yet. $29.99 to unlock premium access until the start of the football season. Still, I mean, we've had that deal going on for a while, but it's still a really good one if you have not done it yet. So, yeah, like you said, Tim, we're about halfway through the start of spring ball. Halfway through the end of spring ball. And Blue and Gold's Tyler Horka and Patrick Gangle put together their mid-spring depth chart projections from what they've seen. And they did get to see what was just this past Saturday, the full practice. Didn't get to shoot video of the whole time, but the first 5 periods, they got to shoot video. And we've had, of course, tons of footage on Blue and Gold and our YouTube channel. But I wanted to pop up Tyler's offensive line projection. Starters, Joe Alton, Blake Fisher, your left and right side, of course. Guard, Andrew Kristofic right, Billy Schrauth on the left side, and then, no surprise, Zeke Carrell looking back at center. And then, backups at tackle, Tosh Baker, Emil Wagner, Ty Chan, who a lot of folks thought might be a guard, but looking like he's playing tackle earlier in his Notre Dame career. You have Charles Jagasaw doesn't arrive until the summer, and of course, Solon Absher as well. And then a guard, Carmody, Spindler, and then the freshmen, Joe Otting, Sam Pendleton, and Chris Tarrick. And then over at center, you also have Pat Coogan and Ashton Craig behind Carrell. So when you saw this article, Tim, what was your initial reaction?
Excited, because those are the 5 I kind of hope. I guess, going on, when you're looking at a group of 5, obviously that the 2 flanks you knew about, people have been a little like, oh, well, what about Zeke? The guy has started games 3 straight seasons. You can't forget that at the offensive line. He started in 2020, handful of games in 2021 at a position he's never played at. And now he's comfortable. He's heading into a second straight season at center. I think that's a positive. The guards are the biggie, and these are the big question marks at Notre Dame. Everything I know Tyler and Patrick are reporting, Carmody's pretty much been in that starting role, but the other day it was Billy Schrauth. So that was interesting to see. Is it Billy beating him out? I know Carmody's been nicked up, and then Carmody only weighs 280 pounds. So even in some of the pictures that I know Tyler posted online, he just looks small. They keep showing Joe Alt. Joe Alt's 7'2", by the way. There's no way he's 6'7". That guy's 7'2". He's huge. So, God, he looks good. Not to go off on a tangent, but Joe Alt and Blake Fisher just look like some dudes. But it's quite interesting with guard, because is Billy going to wrap that thing up? And then Kristofic, is he the crusty veteran? Obviously got all the those handful of games started in 2021 next to Joe Alt. That's what and the next thing was they have Billy next to Joe Alt. So are they going the young guy next to the more experienced guy? Because obviously Joe Alt does have a full year on Blake Fisher. So I found that interesting. They didn't go back with the Kristofic Joe Alt on the left side there.
Fisher and Alt locked, like you said. You knew Carrell was going to start. And Kristofic too, right? I think you have 4 locked in returning starters. Then it's Schrouth, Carmody, Spindler for the last spot. Who do you prefer there, Tim?
I think it's gonna be Billy Schrauff. I truly believe that. Obviously Rudolph recruited the living heck out of him when he was at Wisconsin. You heard all the reports. I know Tyler reported on this. Tyler Horka a ton during the year. Billy was always being mentioned. Had a great camp. Bull prep during those 15 practices. Was just kept coming on. Great winter conditioning. He's always been the one that's right there. So talent wise, I'm not surprised. I really hope it is him. And then on top of that, you knock on wood, it's probably not going to happen. But you can have all 5 of these guys returning in 2024. The odds of that are going to be really tough, but because Zeke and Andrew do have a 6 year if they wanted to use it. But I like Billy. I've heard a few good things about Rocco. Hopefully, because as he's improving, that's the other thing. People forget about Rocco Spindler. It's like he is in his 3rd year, and that 3rd year sometimes that magic starts to click, and you start to come on. So does he push? Is he a better athlete, or do you do the experience with Kristofic? Because Rocco is right there at the right guard with Kristofic, so that'll be an interesting battle. The one real quick, the really good news, and I've seen some of the film and whatnot, is Emil Wagner. Man, he looks good. That's a good looking football player who's just gonna get experience this year, and he's gonna step in somewhere in 2024. He's a good looking football player.
All right, let's go through a couple of quick YouTube comments, and while I do, Tim, if you could just check your phone real quick, I'd send you something of notes. Everyone wants us to drop a Ric Flair nod. Woo! There you go, folks. Chris says, "How important is height at the guard position?" K-Max says, "Keep expecting to hear Spindler breakthrough." That's definitely something we've been hearing since he got to Notre Dame. But yeah, Tim, I mean, Spindler's about 6'5". Schrouth is like 6'5", 6'6". Carmody is, I mean, all these guys have tackle height. I'm curious how important height is at the guard position. Should you be shorter?
Josh Lugg is extremely tall.
6'7".
He played every snap at right guard, obviously. Right. Patterson was 6'5". Yeah, he's 6'5" center.
Yep.
Like all those years starting. So yeah, I mean, you want your length. I mean, this is going back to the Anthony Knapp commitment a week ago. Where does he go? That conversation with him, with his height. Is he long enough to play tackle and things of that nature? Because he's perfect guard size. You just map out 6'4". So yeah, I don't think height is a huge thing at guard.
All right, so that's kind of wrapping up the the conversation on a possible Notre Dame offensive line. Projection, if you will. All right, Tim. So now we're going to talk a little CJ Carr, which I'm always excited to talk quarterbacks.
The return of CJ Carr, correct?
Yeah, the return of CJ Carr visiting campus on Thursday. So that's good. It'll be his first time since January.
Okay.
He was there for that junior day. And then we've also reported Blue and Gold that he'll be returning once again. Excuse me, got something on my throat for the spring game. So, yeah, definitely good news there. Sorry, struggling. Okay, I got it. So, yeah, I got to see Carr at the Knoxville 7-on-7 tournament, which was a lackluster tournament overall. The teams were not very good, but this California power team that Carr plays on that has players from Texas, California, obviously Michigan with Carr, Vegas. I mean, players from everywhere on this really, it's called California Power, but it's a national team. They do a lot of their tournaments based on what colleges they can visit with it. So they do the Knoxville tournament to visit Tennessee. They went up to a tournament in the Pacific Northwest so they could visit Washington. So they kind of tie those together. So Carr did the Pylon tournament, visited Tennessee. Oh my gosh, because CJ Carr visited Tennessee. Yeah, they just got a quarterback commitment last week, like total
correct?
Yeah, total non thing there, but I'm sure we'll dive into that, Tim. But I guess let's pop on the film from this. Tim, I thought he looked pretty darn good. I'm sure you saw a little bit of this. What do you think about this? Good old. I know you love 7-on-7, Tim.
Yeah, 7-on-7 is well. The best part about 7-on-7, it was on your film where he's throwing the little, the little dump pass there where the guard is on the 3-yard line. That's always a 7-on. But hey, you gotta have that play in during 7-on-7 tournaments. But no, I watched this film. Your breakdown that you did with him, a little 5-6 minute video here on the Blue and Gold channel. You know what, man? It's funny. I was taking some notes again because I really haven't watched much of him. I've seen some stuff on Twitter, that he's posted. He's really efficient. He's obviously is accurate. But the one thing, he looks 2 years older than when he committed. That was the first thing I took was he looks a little thicker. He just looks older. He looks like a Division I quarterback, like that body, the body language that he has. Yep. He looks like a dude that's ready to go play some college football. And I was excited for him going into his senior year. I think it's right here, Mike. One of my favorite plays right there. And it's 7-on-7. No, but I'm excited for him. Just the way he looks, his composure, the quotes, the article that you did with him there at the tournament. He looks like he's ready to go to Notre Dame. And I can't wait to see him arrive there in that middle of January.
K-Max says smooth delivery motion. The video is too choppy to tell. Sorry. On my end, as producing this, it looks super clear, but
it's
through the YouTube stream, it's sloppy. That makes me sad. But yeah, Tim, I'll cut it off then if it doesn't look good. But we'll have a video with Darren Pritchett on Thursday, and that should have better video, so you guys can watch that. By the way, I did tease last week a show on Tuesday.
Yes.
We didn't end up having it. For folks wondering, I did record something. I'm just going to give a quick teaser.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
If you're listening via podcast, you don't get the teaser because it's on the screen. But we recorded a little segment that I'm very, very excited about as a Miami Dolphins fan. But yeah, so that's a bummer that the video's not coming through great. But yeah, Tim, he threw like 7 incompletions in 5 games. Like, yeah, we can look. I see you on our message board talking bad about 7-on-7.
It's all fun.
Listen, what you have to take it for what it is. If you're doing 7-on-7 to replicate Sat Friday nights, then yeah, it's stupid. But if you're just doing it to get in shape and hang out with other guys and have fun, it's fantastic.
Yes.
CJ Carr throwing the ball down the field, like that translates from 7-on-7. Like sure, maybe some of the goal line stuff doesn't, but and him, staring down a receiver, like is what it is. He's gonna stare down receivers and throw completions at the next level. Not you're just sometimes, Tim, you just know how to get under my skin.
Well, I've done enough. I think I've done
enough getting under my skin. Yeah,
that and 1,000 7-on-7 tournaments. It's fun, but no, it's it's all a little poking the bear at times. You got to do that with Singer, but it's no, you know what though? But watching him it's fun. Like I said, your video, people need to go on there and watch it if they haven't watched it already. It's fantastic. The film on there is really good.
Right, I got one for you. Hopefully this one comes in through. I thought this was really cool. So I tweeted this out, and it's a little inside curl where CJ is looking, like you see him looking at the safety.
Right there on the left, yeah.
And it's hard to tell without really slowing it down. But when he lifts his hand off to slap the ball right, you see how quarterbacks will do that. He's still looking. So that I would say right there, he is starting his throwing motion. He is staring right at that safety, right? And then you see where his head snaps to the left. That's really good right there, Tim. Like it's hard to kind of see it. But it is and you can see me filming it. I'm thinking he faked me out. It's very subtle how he is looking down. He starts his throwing motion at the last second there. He moves to that little curl in the seam there. Just little things like that, Tim. He's ready to go. Like you don't ever anticipate a freshman playing at the quarterback position. It's really difficult to do, even if you're an early enrollee. And and we'll dive into my conversation with him a little bit more, but he had basically told me like, hey, I want to talk ball. I want to talk verbiage of the offense. I don't want to talk about how my day is going. Like he wants to get a head start. He knows it's not hard to look at the depth chart and be like, hey, where are things at? Sam Hartman's leaving. It's an open battle. Who knows? Tyler Buckner could go this offseason if he doesn't start, if he doesn't beat out Hartman, who knows? Here's that quote from Carr in my interview with him. I don't want to be recruited. Just talk ball with me. I don't need the graphics. Let's go install the offense. That was what he said about when I asked him about just kind of communication with the offensive staff, asking, hey, are they like re-recruiting you? Like, how does that look? I was like, because I feel like for you, CJ, I was like, look, I don't think you really want to be recruited. You just want to talk ball. And that's what he said. So, all right, Tim, I just rambled on.
No, I love that. I mean, the article, when he was talking about what I love, the little insight there, those who haven't read it is, he's been, because everyone's assuming he's out there. Oh, Notre Dame, is he not taking their calls? Is he not talking to them? Are they is he shopping himself around? And then what you learn is, no, he's been talking to these guys nonstop. He's literally been in the meetings via Zoom, FaceTime, whatever, with the offensive staff during spring football. So that has been awesome to learn how involved he is. And more importantly, obviously, what Gino and Coach Barker are obviously involving him into it as they get ready. And then, CJ's a year older, he's like Jimmy Clausen. He's going to be 19 when he graduates, right? So yeah, I believe so. And so is he kicking himself? I should have enrolled early already, but I think he's going to have a heck of a senior year. Curious to see, always with the rankings, how do they shop out? Because there are some really good quarterbacks, by the way, that I've just started to watch here in the last week or two. Nationally, they're outstanding. But the one thing I took, like I said, is he looks so much older. I mean, we interviewed him, remember, last spring.
Yeah, that was fun.
He just maybe it's the haircut. Someone mentioned the haircut. So maybe it is the nice shaved head. He looks a little bit older, but he looks a little thicker. And just really exciting when you get a great quarterback coming to Notre Dame.
Yeah, so did want to just quickly mention, you can read the full article at Blue and Gold. Some really good stuff. I was like, look, I can add in the little context and write a traditional article. I was like, I'm just going to write it up as a straight Q&A. And I think that people really kind of enjoyed that look at it. So yeah, go to Blue and Gold. And I think pretty much everything is looking pretty good, Tim. He's solid. I mean, he's enjoying the talking ball with the Notre Dame staff. I would say that everything looks pretty good there. Any thoughts on that side of things, Tim? I mean,
yeah, he's coming obviously tomorrow. On Thursday he's going to be back for the spring game, and he's working on some guys. He's working on some more skill guys that Notre Dame's recruiting, and he's almost like a little co-recruiting coordinator on the offensive side. You read between the lines when he talks about certain guys, and it's exciting because obviously he's working to bring in some big time offensive skill guys. So, and I'm excited. I just really am. I can't wait to get. It's going to be a fun season. Me and you got some unbelievable games to work on this year, but come January 2024, Mike, I mean, you already said it is going to be a wild quarterback derby at Notre Dame.
Kurt, quarterback derby. Who are you? Sorry, I am working the phones over here.
Someone says, will he end up a 5-star? I'll say right now, no.
Carr?
Just because of the numbers, the bodies ahead of him. There might be another quarterback or two below him that I could see jumping him in the final rankings. I could.
Yeah, in terms of that, I had someone ask me, what is it going to take for him to end up a 5-star? I got asked that, and I was like, for these websites to rank them higher. Like I think people don't realize how much of a crapshoot quarterback recruiting and evaluating really is. You just don't understand. Like,
I agree with you.
If you are 6'6", 200 pounds with a rocket arm and you can run a 4.5, all right, maybe that one's a little obvious. Everyone can know that you're a 5-star, right? And you make good decisions. But then there's things like between the ears maybe you're not the best kid. Like who knows? Like there's a lot of things that you just don't know about, right? So
I mean, he's been consistent.
Think about all the
right?
look at like all the 2 stars that ended up a first round pick or 5 stars at bust. Like it is
but Charles Powers, when he was on, he's Carr's been consistent though.
Is this
higher ranking? He's been consistent.
Who's this John?
He's an easy 5-star, but because he's Notre Dame,
Well, I mean, do you know how many 5 stars Notre Dame does get? I mean, they get 5 stars all the time. Like,
yeah, Mayer was a 5-star by one service.
Any other ranking websites, you'll see tons of 5 stars. I don't think that matters. I really don't. But hey, if Notre Dame Nation, if you guys just want to say we're not getting the benefit of the doubt because we're Notre Dame. I told you guys last week a story where a kid literally stayed a 4-star. Rivals wanted to bump him down to a 3-star, and they kept him as a 4-star because he was committed to Notre Dame. Like, this stuff happens. Like, you guys are killing me. Stop with we're the victims here. You're Notre Dame. Like, that's a big deal. So, it's not like you're Oregon State, like a quarterback with a bunch of offers commits to Oregon State or Vanderbilt or Arizona. Oh, crap. This Notre Dame is not Arizona. Like it's stop with this crap. It's crap.
It's crap. When you go with Cam Williams, I mean, Cam Williams, when he committed was 175, 200, and now he may be a borderline 5-star. So did him committing to Notre Dame hurt his rankings? Of course not. Of course not. So there's not, he commits to Notre Dame, I'm dropping him 200 spots. No, I don't believe that because I've actually gone on and looked at some of the guys and where rankings go. I think the individual rating is more important than what you're, I'm number 188. Well, yeah, technically you could be within 125 to 200.
All right.
So there's, the rating is a lot.
Yeah, the national ranking.
It breaks it down so much more than just the individual number.
All right. John's getting a 5-minute timeout for riling me up. You can come back in 5 minutes, John. You're just trolling in my chat. All right. So one thing we wanted to talk about, Tim, someone brought up our blue and gold message board was comparing Carr to some past quarterbacks. So I pulled up, I have similar highlights. Here's Drew Pine. This is Drew Pine, this is kind of warm up clip. This is Drew Pine back when he was in high school. And as I was thinking about this, I've seen all these guys in person. Pine, Buckner. I didn't find any Buckner stuff. But Pine, Buckner, Angeli, Carr, I've all seen in person. Minchie, I didn't get to see in person because they went after him, so late in the cycle and he was hurt. And, by the time he committed, he was already done. But Pine looks short, but otherwise, Tim, when you see all these guys, going back to my point of it doesn't make there's not a ton that separates them. That's obvious. They're all really good. They all throw really good balls. And again, this is kind of boring footage of Pine, but Tim, I will stick to that. It's difficult, man. It really is.
Yeah, Pine looks. I went back and watched all these guys junior highlights to compare them to junior CJ Carr's highlights. I've done that in the last couple of days, just going back to rewatch some of these guys. Tyler Buckner's film is,
oh my gosh,
it's freakish. It's not even fair. It's unbelievable. It's he played down there at the small level that he was at, and it's unbelievable. His junior film is so darn good, and that's why I think I know I'm excited. One of these days, I just hope that happens all season long at Notre Dame. I think it can. Drew Pine, I went back because this is going back to the recruiting. I truly believe Notre Dame was trying to put maybe not a capable guy or a comparable guy. They had Jurkovec, then Pine, then Buckner. You know what I mean? They had a top 100 guys and then put Pine in the middle. And I thought that film was kind of like that. Pine's junior film, Mike, is not oh man, we got to get this guy.
But the thing is, everyone was after him because when he's in middle school,
I don't understand how. I need to go on Google and just read more articles because
he was.
I know.
I think he developed pretty early physically There's a Brand Walker dropping a pass. I threw that in there.
He's a corner.
But
starting corner at Michigan, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's supposed to be doing pretty well. Yeah, maybe because he can't catch too well. I don't know. I'm trolling.
Well, but Pine, I've heard Tom Lemming break this down, where he was just a man amongst boys as a freshman and stayed that level all throughout and whatnot. So
I think that's it. And Notre Dame was already locked in with him pretty early.
Yeah. And Jelly, I went and watched, you know what, Mike? I went and watched his I went back and rewatched his film and done some really good things. I'm curious. He's the one that's like, does he break through or does he constantly stay the same? How does he roll in this offense? Because he's not the athlete of Buckner, Minchie. The stuff I've seen of Minchie during spring, he's just a smooth cat, man. He just gets the ball and just slings it. Looks relaxed. Looks like he's just taking a nap all the time. You know what I mean? Like his mannerisms, just like he's not up, he's not down. He looks so steady. And in Jelly, it's like, where does he land once CJ Carr comes aboard in January? What's that pecking order? Does Notre Dame we got to give Carr more reps? But in Jelly's been here 2 years. You know what I mean? How does that break down? That's going to be very interesting.
He's going to come in as a junior and a grown man, next year.
But then you watch Carr's film and you're like, he's obviously a better football player. He's a better quarterback. He's just a better quarterback when you watch comparable film to them. And unless Carr just doesn't grow, unless Carr just doesn't, does CJ Carr stay Drew Pine? Does he stay the same player he's been since his sophomore year?
Well,
I don't think he is.
Physical.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think Carr is going to keep growing. So, and Jelly's that wild card. He really is.
So where would you rank if you had to rank? We'll go from we'll just go from Pine to here. Pine, Buckner, and Jelly, Minchie, Carr as prospects. So try to remove what they've done at the college level.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're going straight high school film prospects, Tyler Buckner's film blows them all away.
Well, yeah, he was playing in San Diego. It was not very good.
But the dude throws some balls. I mean, he's throwing 60 yards on his back foot at times. He's slinging it all over. I would go Buckner, Carr, Minchie, and Jelly, Pine. And I'm just going off high school film. I'm not worried about what they did at Notre Dame or anything. I'm going high school football film. Minchie's high school football film is very good. I think Carr's a tad better. That's just my opinion with accuracy, but Minchie could throw. Minchie's better than Steven.
All right. So what was your order again? Buckner?
I would go I'm going high school football film. I'm not worried about any. I'm going straight high school football.
Carr,
Minchie, and Jelly Pine. Basically, when you're going back then, took Jurkovic out, he transferred.
It's tough. Minchie is the one that's because he played for like 5 games as a senior. And is this junior film? Which one did I pull up? No, this is his senior film.
Yeah, senior. He's a sharp. And I may be like slant a little bit just because some of the stuff I've seen in spring, but I've seen some nice in Jelly film as well. Minchie could throw the ball. He could throw the ball. He really can. Look at that throw right there. Holy moly. That thing's on the money and out right at the pylon.
I don't know how to rank Buckner in that because senior year, the junior year, it counted for 81 touchdowns.
You can't blame him for the COVID.
I can't blame him for it, but it has to be taken into consideration. There's some of the crazy stuff that he did. And actually,
But just watch. I mean, just the throws. He's not throwing wobbly balls. He's not,
But tell me, Tim, if he knows he's playing against, 7th graders in Georgia, 7th grade level in Georgia.
But that's why he transferred to Helix High, which is
right. I'm not trying to put this against him, but if that was I think you play with a little bit extra confidence when you know that these are not guys. Now, athletic specimen, absolutely. Some of these throws that he makes are ridiculous.
Look at that throw on one foot.
Yeah, look at the DB.
Doesn't matter. It's the throw. That throw sideways to his right, boom, on money. Who cares about the DB? Look at the throw.
Well, I care about the DB. He
That.
ain't
That
doing
is
this
a
in college. You know what I'm
spiral,
saying? Like, he ain't looking like this in
spiral
college.
right to the belly button right there. Yeah. Like,
Have you seen this at the next level?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen Tyler Buckner run the ball for touchdowns?
We're not talking about running the ball. We're talking about throwing the ball right now.
He hasn't thrown the ball. He didn't throw the ball in the.
Ain't not like this, Tim. He ain't doing it like this.
Well, maybe because Notre Dame didn't have any wide receivers this year. They went into Ohio State and they did 12 personnel every single snap. Come on. Marshall, the corners kicked the living hell out of the wide receivers in the Marshall game. Do we have to rewatch that? Come on. What did he do in 2021? Why did he play above Drew Pine? Because he's a better quarterback. That's why they got him in the game.
Sixes are all the receivers' fault. All right. Yeah.
There was no wide receiver. How many wide receivers were last year's team? See, people always forget that about the offense last year. That's why I've actually stuck up for Pine at times. Who were the wide receivers? The two guys they thought, as soon as Avery Davis went down, who did they have? Styles, who had as many catches as you and I and drops, right? It's like, come on. The entire offense last year was handoff, give me a ton of tight ends, and Mayer, get open any way you can, Mayer. We're going to get you the ball. That was the offense last year. Come on. They didn't have no dynamic. Tobias Merriweather even admitted when he did his press conference in the middle of October, it's like, yeah, I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. That's why they kept yanking me out and I never played. He even admitted that. So it's a different animal this year with those guys. They're all a year older. Colsey didn't. Come on. Colsey was injured at the beginning of the year. Was Colsey the same player at Ohio State, the SC? No, because he didn't play because he was injured. He had a knee injury. You got me on a tangent, Mike. Come on.
I don't even know what the heck you're talking about anymore, Tim.
Well, no, it's the conversation last year about wide receivers. Notre Dame didn't have wide receivers.
They weren't we weren't talking about the receivers last year like we had in years before that. Like, they weren't
exactly. So what's the quarterback supposed to do when he doesn't have dudes on the outside to get the ball to?
Don't throw it.
That's why they ran the ball for 40 plus times in every single win. They had to. You beat Clemson with 80 yards passing.
All right, so it's not Pine's fault. It's just the receiver. So I got you. It
wasn't Pine's fault. Pine against Clemson, they didn't even throw the ball.
So I feel like you're talking all over the place, Tim.
Mike,
because they didn't throw the ball because they didn't need to. But you're like, well, they're not throwing the ball because of the receivers. No, well, they're not throwing the ball because they don't have to. Like, which one is it, Tim?
Whoa. What did they do in 2021 with Cone? They were in 11 personnel majority of the time. First off, because they had Austin, they had Lindsey, they had Avery Davis. You had Mayer at tight end, completely different offense with Jack Cone and the personnel. Kyron Williams, who do you want, Kyron Williams or Logan Diggs?
Oh, so now it's the running back's fault.
No, I'm talking about personnel.
Like, where are you going with this?
Talking about personnel. It's completely different in 2021 than 2022. Completely different teams. Come on.
Have you ever thought about going into politics?
Never.
You'd be very good. Because, you flop around really well.
How was there flopping about the offense?
Oh, we're all about Hartman. No, now you're a big Buckner guy because of a couple text conversations with Goolsby.
No, all I ever said about wait, hold on. All I ever said about Tim Hartman
straight with you, Tim Hyde. You just use your good looks and your charm. That great head of hair.
My dad did bless me. Yeah.
And you can only see Tim's shoulders up. I bet he's rocking the 6-pack. He's 6'6". He's taller than Joe Alt, probably.
Not as tall as Alt, I guarantee you that. That guy's huge, man.
Yeah, well, maybe Alt's too big, and Tim's just the perfect. Tim, I think are we good on quarterback discussion? Let me check our notes, Tim. I think.
Yeah, you don't like the fact that I put Angeli fourth. That's the problem.
I look. If you're going to make me do it, I would say Carr's 1 and Pine is last.
Oh, without a doubt.
But the middle's tough. Because Angeli played really good competitive ball in the power, was it power 5, power 6, whatever it is, in North Jersey's really good ball. I've been up there a couple times to see game. It's pretty good. And then the Minchie's the limited sample size. I don't know.
There's no way you put Angeli third. If you put Angeli third, then go for it. I mean, people watching this chat, watching it back, please comment. Is Angeli your third quarterback out of those 5? Come on. There's no way. There's no way. But if he is, if people think Angeli's the savior, go ahead. CJ Carr, the minute he steps on campus, is better than Steve Angeli. Every quarterback they've offered in 2025, Mike, is better than Steve Angeli. Every quarterback they've offered in 2025 is better. The 2025 quarterback, if they get one of the two, could even be better than CJ Carr the minute he steps on campus. Those guys are legit in 2025 that they're recruiting.
Always the next one, Tim.
No, it's not the next one. I'm just saying the year out. There's no way Steve Angeli is ranked ahead of Minchie, Buckner. There's no way. But that's just my opinion.
Well, now
we all have opinions. We all have a good opinion.
Now you're talking about the current depth chart. We've been talking about them as recruits. It's totally different.
Completely different. So you're telling me Steve Angeli's a better quarterback recruit than Tyler Buckner? There's no way. There's no way. No way.
I wouldn't concede it right away, but I would probably lean Buckner as a recruit. But I wouldn't concede it just because I would love to see Steve Angeli, against the 7th graders that Buckner was playing against too. I would like to see it.
All I know is when Buckner played a bunch in 2021, the dude made a lot of plays.
To the other team.
To the other team. So when when Colsey's getting his rear end beat up against Va Tech, Buckner throws an out route. Colsey runs the wrong route. That's the pick 6. But Colsey runs the wrong route as he's getting destroyed by the corner. Blame the quarterback. All right. Wide receivers are never involved in pass games. So when he calls the audible against North Carolina and scores, and he checks a play in 2021, that's not Buckner. When Buckner takes the offense on a long touchdown drive to solidify the SC win, no, he didn't do nothing. Come on. Tyler Buckner's a good football player. So
yeah, he's fun. Yeah, he's a good player. Pretty inconsistent.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty inconsistent.
Counted for 6 touchdowns in that Gator Bowl.
Yet 110 days off, he comes back and does what he does with just a couple weeks of practice.
It was good.
Exactly.
A lot of good for both teams, Tim.
A lot of good for both teams. So a tip pass is always the quarterback's fault. Is Josh Lugg?
If it's true line, then hell yeah, it is his fault.
I've coached football a long time. Football's 11-11 now. So when when Josh Lugg's getting his head kicked in and the lineman just puts his hand up and Buckner's trying to get the guy who's wide open over the middle. It's always, but that's fine. It's always the quarterback's fault
if it's Pine, but it's not Buckner's if it's Buckner's.
I'm not even talking about Pine. I'm not even talking about Pine. I've stuck up for Pine, and you know that. So come on.
It's typical Tim the politician. It's Tim the politician.
Hey, I've stuck up for Pine. I'm not one of these guys that says, "Oh, Pine sucks. It's horrible." He was efficient enough to win ball games for Notre Dame.
All right, Tim. I'm going to let you take a quick breather.
Do some stock trading.
We're going to do some stock trading in just a minute. But first, probably something that we might all need at this point in time with today's show is a little bit of Rogue Shop. And folks, it is the husband and wife outfit, as Mr. Rogue and his wife Shar are craft cannabis farmers who specialize in small batch sustainable plant medicine. It's a true holistic type of small business. They farm and grow everything themselves and do everything by hand. Their website to visit is rogueshop.com. That's ROGU shop.com. Rogue Shop sells CBD, THC, edibles, tinctures, smokables, bath salts, pain creams, topicals, vapes, candles, soaps, and more. Their website has a 24/7 chat functions. Here on the bottom left of the screen, you can ask Mr. Rogue and Shar any questions that you have. Head over to rogueshop.com if you have issues sleeping, chronic pain, and or anxiety stress. Use promo code Blue and Gold. That'll get you 10% off your order. That's Blue and Gold, one word, getting you 10% off your order. All right, Tim. So yes, it is stock exchange time. Michael says, imagine when these two talk off the record. I'm gonna be honest with you. When Tim and I talk off the record, it's just about planning our next show. sometimes I'll be talking to these guys. I'm like, man, we should have saved this for the show. Like, I don't like
you do that a lot. You do that. You're like, Tim, save it.
Well, part of that is when you and Goolsby are just going off. I'm like, guys, stop blowing up my phone.
Yeah, we've taken you out. So.
Save it for the show. That was really just the New Year's Eve one.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do next. Buy, sell, hold. Okay. A lot of discussion about the guys that we're going to talk about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10 or so. So we're going to have to go with true, a true 30 seconds to a minute, Tim, and not a Tim Hyde minute about some of these guys. We're going to start with Chris Tyree, Tim. Senior year now. I know it says junior on the screen, but going into his senior year, are you buying that, hey, this is the year for him to explode? Like he's going to be, a lead or, be one of the leaders on the team it touches? Like, are you buying Chris Tyree for this season? Are you selling it or going to go with the cop out of a hold right now?
No, I'm going to take Michael's advice right here, who just said sell. So I would, Michael, you and me are on the same page. I would sell Chris Tyree. He's playing slot. Jaden Thomas is the slot ahead of him right now. Tyree was the third running back. They're trying to find a way to get him on the field. For me, hey, put one of the freshmen at slot. If you're going to go 11 personnel, put Rico Flores in Great House, been having great springs, play those guys there. That would be my take. If Chris Tyree would have 5-6 drops the other day. It was being reported he had a horrible practice. It's one problem. I'm not just saying that in general, but yeah, if we're cutting guys or keeping guys, whatnot, I would sell.
So he's a running back, right?
Yes.
That's what he's played.
Yes.
If they're moving him to receiver, I don't think, or if he's moving to receiver, they're playing him some at receiver. That's my read on that is he's not going to get a ton of running back. We want to get him the ball somewhere else. I don't think that's a good thing. I hope I'm wrong, but I would sell as well, Tim. Tobias Merriweather.
Oh man, he's yeah. I mean, you just buy. You just keep buying.
Just
keep buying stock. Yeah, exactly. He's like Apple, Google stock, right? You just buy it up, Mike. You just buy it. You buy it up. He's the guy who I always go back to his press conference that he did. When the players talked last year, he gave a great one. If people go back, find it on YouTube. He was open, honest, talked about his time since he arrived. He didn't arrive till the summer, so he's going to tear it up. He knows he's good. Took him a long time to jump into the rotation. Then he got the concussion. Yeah, you buy him all day long. He's going to be he's going to lead the team in receptions this year.
I'm with you. Pick up this stock.
Yes.
All right. I don't know. Where do you stand on Tim Hartman today, Mr. Where do you stand on Sam Hartman, Tim the politician? Are you?
This is an easy one, Mike. You hold it. He's a 6-year senior. He's learning the offense. He's not having a good spring. He's,
why don't you think he's having a good spring?
Well, all you have to do is read the blue and gold reporting. It's like it's all out there. It's all out there. So. I know people get excited when they show him throwing on air a deep pass with no one rushing and blocking. Is
it because he looks like an inch taller of Pine? Is that what it is?
Hey, I'll be honest with you. He really does look like Drew
I'm
Pine.
telling you.
In a helmet, shoulder pads. Yeah. He looks like Drew Pine out there. At least his body and his stature. I would hold.
Wow.
We got Mike watching. Oh, yeah.
Goolsby's in the chat. Goolsby, you don't have to drop a super chat. Goolsby.
I love it. Yeah. I'm only holding because he's just sitting there. We'll see what happens, which, by the way, I'm stunned. You're getting a 6-year quarterback. You're getting the ACC leader in touchdowns. I thought he would step on campus and just start being the man instantly. So it's a little puzzling how he's struggling so much.
I hope Goolsby didn't watch anything earlier in the show where I was maybe not loving up Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, Mike's got to go back and watch that. Go to Adam B, Mike. Adam B just posted.
Goolsby, not exactly a high roller. Goolsby, I appreciate it, man. It's good to see you in the chat. All right, speaking of Holden, actually we'll stick with quarterbacks. What are you doing with the stock of your boy Tyler Buckner? You know, the one that Goolsby has you convinced is just. I mean,
Well,
you're gonna start him.
You know what? I'm gonna cop out. He's my one who's definitely a hold as well because what's
wow,
he
Tim, you wanted this segment. You're just giving me holds on quarterbacks.
No, not all. I definitely have a few sales, but with him,
so I know who I'm skipping then that we're not going to talk about.
No, I'm holding because we don't know what's going to happen after the spring game, right?
You have to tell me.
We don't. Is he going to transfer? Is he going to stay? Is he going to be the guy? We don't know. You know what? I mean, come on. Sam Hartman was being called obviously during the season, back channels, right? What schools are back channeling with Tyler Buckner's family right now, trying to convince them come to our school? We don't know.
That's a little too much. So, that's a little too much tinfoil hat on.
Oh, come on. How do you get transferred?
I don't
wait till he's in the portal and you're like,
you
all
may
right.
Not be wrong. You may not be wrong, but I don't think that's
come on.
This ain't that time to speculate on that.
Wait, how did Phil Jurkovec hit the portal and then picked his school within an hour? Because he knew where he was going. So that's just one. So, but come on.
Hour.
It was I think that same day, but I could be wrong.
I mean, if you want to talk about that, Hartman reports when he was Notre Dame before he even played in the frickin' bowl game, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, but it's interesting, with these two quarterbacks. I'm actually number one. I'm stunned. Hartman just didn't come in there and just start taking over the NFL prospect. Everyone thinks he is, just dominate from day one. And I'm loving the reports of what Buckner is playing his tail off right now in spring. He's obviously motivated. He's healthy. He's giving it a go.
All right. Floor's yours.
Oh, this is easy. You sell this one. You sell it, Mike. You sell because you already got quarterback. You don't need all these quarterbacks, correct? So you got to sell it. You give Minchie the reps because you got CJ Carr coming, and there's your quarterbacks for next year. There's my 30 seconds.
Just mad that he's not the most handsome man on the screen right now. That's all it is.
And I like Angeli. Good film. Oh, you buy all day with Billy Schroff. You buy. Buy. He's big young man who's got a couple of years. Quentin Nelson redshirted, starts as a redshirt frosh. Billy Schroff redshirted, more than likely going to start as a redshirt frosh. So you buy this young man.
All right.
He's like waste management. He's waste management stock if we're going to do a stock for Billy Schroff, right? Just there, he's just going to go clean up the stuff.
Jadarian Price, Tim.
Woo! Man, I didn't know. You're giving me an injured guy he was just walking around in a t-shirt right now. Oh man,
there's still a lot of excitement about Jadarian Price, man.
An injured guy walking around in a t-shirt, excitement. Okay, I will. So he's going to be like one of those.
I'm buying the stock. That's why I think I'm buying it.
He's like one of those biotechs, those young biotechs that you're like, Tim, I'll throw some money in. I'll throw some money in on Price.
This is the Shark Tank episode where, or the segment where the sharks say, "Hey, what do you have in sales?" And it's 0. And you're like, "Man, I'm really taking a flyer buying this." But I believe in this kid.
He's one of those biotech stocks, pharmaceuticals. You just throw a few bucks in and you hope it bounces.
Yeah. All right. So, buy, sell, and hold. I feel like we have to go to hold and stays.
Ooh,
I would assume Mitch Evans is kind of tight end one. Do you like hold and stays right behind him?
Yes, because you have Bauman, who's been injured a ton. Raritan, back-to-back ACL injuries. I mean, he's got to be solidified as the second tight end. So when they do any 12 packages, and I bet he even rotates with Evans. Evans is not a great blocker. I've actually watched a handful of games over the last few weeks since spring ball started. So, can Stays beat him out as a blocker. Mitchell Evans pass catching, his catch radius is outstanding. But I definitely buy hold and Stays.
Evans was like a tight end, played a lot of more quarterback and punter than he did tight end in high school. So I mean, it's still kind of adjusting to to the game. I'd say a freshman with a good bit of hype is Christian Gray. Tim, you buying this stock that he could be a freshman impact?
Yes. I think he's just too athletic. He comes from that hotbed of recruiting. You got to get those St. Louis guys on the field, Mike, to keep that pipeline going. So, yeah, I would definitely say Christian Gray, in that freshman group. A lot of experience with Notre Dame this year, a lot of upperclassmen. But I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to get him involved, dime package somewhere in that type of a scheme. And he'll probably be on a special team or two this year.
Mike Goolsby's man right here. Yeah. Mike Goolsby, I hope you are in the chat. Goolsby, let me know if you're still here.
For me,
and Maris Liefeld, you buying, selling, or holding?
I'm going to buy him, and this is going to ruffle feathers, and I'm okay with that because my take with Maris Liefeld is he played a bunch in 2020, ended up becoming the go-to starter at the end of the year. And 2020 was a playoff team. Let's don't forget that. So played a bunch that year. Then he gets hurt. 2022 with he's a lightning rod, for a lot of people, but 2022 was his first full year of starting. And the reason why I'm going to buy him this year, got a fifth-year senior, a guy who's played a lot of football. And guess what? He's in the same defense for the second consecutive season, the same coach for the second consecutive season. And I think that's going to be a big thing for Maris Liefeld. And lastly, if he wasn't that good and the coaches didn't like him, then why in the world did he lead the team in reps last year? There's a reason for that. I think they trust him a lot more than they do other players.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Rocco Spindler. This is a surprise one, Tim. We didn't plan on this one, but this is just one. And
I know
everyone's been calling for him to play for so long, and just such an exciting, hyped up recruit, and just has not broken through. And if you're talking about now, Billy Schrauth is going to pass him up on the depth chart. What's Rocco got to be thinking right now? Where are you buy, holding, or selling here?
I'm going to buy him. I'm going to sell Kristofic. I'm going to put Rocco and Billy at guard.
Really?
Let these guys play all year long, and they're both coming back next year. I think Blake Fisher comes back. You got 3 big-time offensive linemen returning in 2024 with Tyler Buckner at quarterback.
What evidence do you have to think that Spindler is a better? You don't have any?
I don't have any evidence. I'm just
okay. I was gonna say what?
I want him at guard. I want him and Billy at guard. I want two big giant dudes at guard. I want a couple Tommy Kramers and Aaron Bank looking dudes at guard. That's what I want.
Look, I get the media gets to see 2 practices a year, one spring and one fall, where it's the entire practice. But other than that, media gets the stretching periods and some individual drills, and then games. That's about it. Spindler, he hasn't played really.
PAT, he got PAT,
and so we're just going off at 2 practices.
I know.
So this is one where I would have to side with the coaches, on the Rocco Spindler thing, and just like I always did with Jordan Johnson, when everyone said that, Mr. all catch team over at UCF. I'm just being a troll again, but just like some of those other guys, the coaches sometimes know what they're doing.
I completely agree, Mike. He is second team now. He is a solidified second team.
He's a junior.
Yes, and this is what Liam Eichenberg didn't play until his junior year. He's starting for your.
Well, you're he's a solidified second team. This is big news. Yay!
So play him and get rid of the 5th-year guy.
This sounds like a Buckner versus Hartman deal with.
Get rid of Kristofic. He's a 5th-year. Kristofic's a 5th-year senior. What playing did he do? A little bit during the 21 season. So Harry Heastan was not a fan of him because he never played him last year, except for in the game he had to play him. Ohio State, and Kristofic got destroyed in that game against Ohio State inside. So, Rocco, that's a good little last second curveball right there. I like that.
Tim, we have 5 minutes left in our hour, and I think we've wrapped up our topics.
Oh yeah, see, the guy says down below the next one, play Colley and Snead.
All right, Tim, I do have one more for you. Defensive line in general.
Ooh, okay.
Buy, sell, hold.
I'm going to buy it because I think they have their 8 ready to roll.
Why don't you give the real reason, Tim?
Oh, because so many people do not like Al Washington. So I gotta buy it. I gotta buy it. I gotta go opposite the fans, Mike. They
Yeah,
don't.
so all right, you're admitting.
Yes, people do not like Al Washington, but at the same time, he's in his second season. He knows these guys, and I think they have an 8 guy. And by the way, his second season, he's had to play Mike Elston's guys. Please go back, people, the last couple years and tell me those Mike Elston defensive ends that he recruited that are playing these days. So they had to go out and get a 6-year senior and John Baptiste. So, but you got Baptiste and Nana at the strong end, Junior Tulialamaka Botello at the weak side rusher, and then you got 4 good-looking dudes inside with Anye, Cross, Mills, and Rubio looks like solidifying. So I would buy them because I think that's going to be a good, solid 8-man rotation for Notre Dame this year.
I think when people are watching this back on YouTube, I think I'm going to get some nasty comments my way. I look.
It's the middle of people. It's the middle of spring ball. We're having some fun tonight, enjoying it, getting ready for the spring game, and then let's start talking some real football. And we have games coming up. This is going fast. We're flowing. So we got the spring game in 2 weeks.
All right, Tim, put on your Coach Hyde hat on and
with tinfoil.
No, I need Coach Hyde hat. Put away the tinfoil. Put away the politician Tim. And put away the troll Tim hat. I know you have all of those sitting on your desk in front of you. My point, though, about it can be a lot more splitting hairs on quarterbacks. This coach swears by this quarterback. This coach swears by this quarterback. And you just see who's right and who's wrong. At the end of the day, like, it's a lot less black and white quarterback recruiting than people think. I think people already think it's not black and white, but it's so far from it. Unless it's just a total no-brainer. Do you agree with me?
Yeah. I mean, every year you have a couple just like Trevor Lawrence, Fields, and some of these guys. I mean, even Bryce Young. People forget Bryce Young was the number 1 quarterback coming out that year. You had him. You had
DJ.
DJ, and you had Stroud. Those were the consensus top 3 quarterbacks that year. So, and then go look at the rest. There's a lot of guys that aren't even playing nowadays that are in the top 20 that year in that class. So a lot of bad quarterbacks. But yeah, some year, Bryce Young was a stud at Mater Dei. Absolutely. DJ was a stud at St. John Bosco. Great football players. But no, you're right. Every year you got your couple, like even this year.
Like DJ's not a slam dunk either.
No, exactly. But you have Raiola, who's just, you watch him film, he just pops out. His athleticism and his arm are outstanding. And then you're going, I hate to say it, but the guy going to Alabama is probably the second best quarterback in Julian Sand, who had a Notre Dame offer. He's fantastic. So, and then you're right. You're picking, is it Jordan Davis, who just committed to Michigan? He's the one ranked in the consensus right above CJ Carr. So you split hairs between those two. There's some, the guy, Mike, who I've never paid attention to until recently, I'm just starting to see more about him as he visits, is the guy Air Nolan? Nolan? Guy's unbelievable. Oh, my God, he's unbelievable, Phil.
Lefty and fast as heck.
That, you watch him, he's like ranked 10th or 11th, and I'm like, how? Seriously.
It's a good quarterback class in 24. It's really good.
That guy is out. He's going to skyrocket. That guy's got to be in the top 3.
Man, I'm getting hate comments already.
I'm not even reading these. Are you? Just want Taco Bell. By the way, Taco Bell. I guess I need to hit that up sometime. No, but yeah, you're right. Quarterback, it's tough. You got the region. Is he a Georgia guy? The competition level, all these things that roll into it. But then you get Mike Singer that goes to the 7-on-7s, and those things do matter as much as I holes on them. But they're fun because you get
data point. It's a data point. You can see raw talent. You can see raw talent.
I agree.
Raw talent, maybe not football IQ and some of that, like the X's, and like maybe not as much, but raw talent you can see.
Yeah, the accuracy. The body language,
route running. Those things are on display. It's just not. You can't say, oh, you can do this in 7-on-7, so you can do it on Friday nights. It's not.
No, I agree. Especially these tournaments, because he's flying into Nashville, Tennessee, or Knoxville, excuse me, and playing with guys he hasn't seen all week, and they get together Saturday.
Or a lot of the players never thrown with before, ever. Like there's like Washington Huskies commit. I think that was the first time CJ ever thrown with them, and he was. I mean, they were dialed up. I mean, they were connecting. But all right, I'm gonna give you my 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it from those 5 quarterbacks from 2020 to 24. I'm putting Carr 1. Maybe I can't do this.
You can't. Just don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Just so, what am I basing? Just junior film?
You know what? Save your 5 when you and Goolsby have a show next.
So no, we're not doing this with Goolsby. No, this is it. This is it. I mean, Buckner's junior film is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. So I put Buckner 2.
See, you were with him at the Elite 11, so that's what you keep thinking about.
And he stunk. It was really bad.
He stunk.
He stunk. And that was the last time I got to see him before he got to Notre Dame.
Yes.
Because that was even in 2020. That was peak COVID that Elite 11 happened. Here's the thing about Minchie and Angeli. I mean, remember, Angeli had he had big time offers, a lot more big time offers than Minchie ever did.
Which is puzzling to me. It's just puzzling.
Right, and that goes back to my point of the quarterback thing. Like, it's Minchie's like, wow, look how great he is, and he's pretty highly ranked according to the websites. But it's like, look at his offer list. Like Pittsburgh, Notre Dame, and Vanderbilt are the biggest ones. Like, not that impressive, but he's an impressive player. It's really splitting hairs with Minchie and Angeli. I would put Angeli 3, and then
you're going Bergen Catholic. You're going with the upper echelon high school football. I get it.
But I'm telling you, man, like that is like that. It's really splitting hairs. Adam says Pine was offered by Alabama. Yeah, I think he was in the 8th grade though. So it's a little bit different. A little bit different.
Same class as Bryce Young. So it's like if Pine wanted to commit first, would they have taken him over Bryce Young? You never know.
Well, Tim,
fun show. That was fun. We got a little riled up. Enjoyed it.
Can I just turn off the YouTube comments for after, so I don't have to read all the crap and have those appear for a different?
No, you know what? We need to do a comment show coming up here after this one where we can comment and have fun with people. So, hey, it's just a little Notre Dame banter on Wednesday night. Appreciate everyone that obviously watches playback and the conversations. Our comment section on our YouTube page is the best. People get involved, and I love it.
All right, folks. Appreciate it. You tuned in to the end here. Hit that thumbs up for YouTube, folks. Subscribe to our channel, of course. Podcast audience, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel. Check out what we have going on there, as well as our website, blueandgold.com. Appreciate you, folks. Enjoy the rest of your night. And as always,